Hey, thanks so much for downloading the latest episode of The Ugly Truth today. I'm sick. I'm getting better, but we talk about it. Plus, the sexiest man alive in 2019. Do we like him or don't we like him? All of this plus some H-Uglee and Awkward Moments of the week. Thank you so much. Shoplifandclip.com. Enjoy the show.
It's another uncensored look at the world around you, from sisters who will say just about anything to anyone at any time. It's the Uggs. Jamie?
Do the Deadpool voice and put your pinky at my ass.
Paula?
You know me, you give me a pill, they're gone by the afternoon.
Uncensored as always, it's time for the Ugly Truth.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. It is episode 420. Ugh. Ugh.
What?
No, you're all, ugh. It's funny to me.
I'm hot.
A lot of heavy breathing on this episode.
Oh no, here comes Fatty McGee. Did you ever hear that one?
Fatty McGee? What's that from?
You never heard it? It was Adam Sandler's first album that he did. It was just audio.
No.
And he's like, oh no, he's taking the stairs. You know how his asthma gets. So
okay. I will have to look that up. No, I don't know what you're talking about. And who are you calling Fatty McGee?
No, shut your mouth. You were commenting on my breathing.
Well, you took an asthmatic gasp before you did your ugh.
Part of the whole skit is his breathing. It's just it's like this wheezing, squealing sound, and it gets so bad that the ambulance starts coming because they think it's another ambulance call or something like that. I don't know. Anyways,
oh my God.
It's funny though.
What a mess.
It is funny.
Okay. Anyway, welcome to The Ugly Truth. I'm Jamie. This is Paula, my sister. And I feel like I'm doing some heavy breathing. I've actually been fighting a cold for a few days. I started getting sick on Friday. Family-wise, whenever one of us gets sick, we get cold sores. It's just, it is what it is.
One on my lip. I thought it was a pimple. I tried to squeeze it and I almost ripped my face off. It hurt so bad.
Oh, yeah, because it's not a pimple. Yeah, so
you can't pop cold sores. They hurt.
Daryl and I were at dinner and I had been feeling kind of weird, but I just figured, I was super tired. It's been a long month and I'm like, so we went out to dinner. And my lip started to itch. Ugh. And I was like, God damn it.
The dreadful itch.
I hate it. And it's this itch that you cannot satisfy. It is the worst.
The herp is coming.
The herpaderp is coming. And here's the thing. I've talked to this is not the sexually transmitted herpes.
You have to tell everybody that because you're just like, you have cold sores, you have herpes. And I'm just like, would you shut your fucking mouth?
I don't have herpes, but...
Yes, I have herpes, but not the vaginal kind.
Not the kind I got from some dirty dick.
Not the kind that you have, whore.
Right. It's a virus. I squarely blame you from your babyhood when you got that incredibly atrocious Journalism of Medicine founded case of herpes mouth.
I wish we could have gotten documents of all our medical journals and turned it into a scrapbook. What's this? Oh, this is a picture of the herpes I had down my throat.
I would like to see a picture of you as a 3-year-old with the bubble herpes sore that was so large that it looked like a golf ball on your face.
I mean, Mom does have a picture of me playing in the backyard. We had this little McDonald's building. I don't know why we had that. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, so we had this little McDonald's building, but I used to play with my Barbies, and they never fit in there, so I'm not really sure what I was doing. But, kids, they used to use their imagination. And so I was playing out there, and I had a visor on. I'm not really sure why I was wearing that either.
Oh, to cover, why? I remember why.
Why?
Because of the antibiotics you were on. They were so strong that if you were exposed to the sun, your skin would, burn.
Maybe that's why I was sitting in the shade. So
yes.
I turned around like someone had said my name and I was looking at the camera, but I looked like Bubba Gump from freaking Forrest Gump, except it was just riddled in sores. And
your lip was so large. It was so large. anyway,
So I look at the camera and I'm like, oh, and someone took my picture.
You know what? No one cared at all. Everybody's like, smile, you're like,
yeah, really.
You know, it's
I'm like, I can't. My lips will bleed.
We don't even care. So anyway, yes, that was horrible. But I believe that that's when the virus invaded our lives. Was when wherever you got that.
We got it from Mom.
I don't know, but from that point forward, we all, oh God. And you know, it's literally one of the only health issues we have that I'm embarrassed by, because there's really, without going on and on, there's really no way to explain that you don't have herpes, because it just isn't. I remember one time in high school, I had cold sores so bad because we had gone skiing. Sun will do it too. Wind and sun will definitely stir up the herpes.
Well, I mean, that's why they call them cold sores, because it is kind of like a wind frost kind of thing too, without just regular herpes.
We went on spring break. We went skiing, and I came back and I had cold sores on my mouth, but they were starting to heal already, so they were like scabby.
So you couldn't smile, otherwise you would start bleeding.
And so somebody, of course, a guy, and he's like, "What happened to your lip?" And I don't know. I used to have to do like wet paper towels because they hurt so bad.
Didn't they have Carmex back then? I mean, God.
No.
Mom never helped us put. All she would do is just give us a giant tub of Vaseline, and just
We didn't have.
Here.
There was nothing that would assist.
I remember Vaseline being the cure-all. Like, you just put that shit on everything.
I would put Neosporin on it because it hurt so bad, and that would help. But anyway, so I was so sick of answering the question. I said that my boyfriend hit me, and they believed me.
Jamie,
I know. Ultimately, someone confronted me later in the day and said, "Did a boy do this to you?" And I was like, oh, no. They're like, "Why did you say that?" And I'm like, because that guy's an asshole, and I didn't want to explain to him without him making fun of me for the next 4 years what actually is going on.
you should have just said that you went skiing and it was really windy and your lips got really super chapped and they blistered.
I was the original Napoleon Dynamite.
God.
My lips are real bad.
My lips hurt real bad.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's why we love that movie so much. Because that was us internally. We may not have looked like that, but we definitely have felt like that inside.
We appeal to the awkward.
For real. Anyway, so Friday night, we're having dinner. My lip itches. I'm like, God damn it. And I'm like, why is this happening? I wake up the next day. I feel like my head's going to pop off. You know those ticks that are so bloated with blood that you think they're going to explode any minute? That's what my head felt like. It was so painful. I was doing hot compresses. I was drinking tea.
Wait, for the cold sore or because you had a headache?
No, because my sinuses were so plugged.
Okay.
So I finally started taking something and I was hopeful that would like cause drainage. So at least my nose would start running. Well, every once in a while I would go through this phase where I would sneeze like a dog for like 10 minutes because my body was just like begging it to start just opening up and releasing. Nothing was working. Finally, my nose started to run last night. I have felt like dog shit for 2 days. Today's the first day that I woke up and I felt normal. I slept till almost noon yesterday. I've never done that in my life.
Have you tried just regular ibuprofen for anti-inflammatory?
Yes. Okay. I was doing Advil. I was doing NyQuil. I was doing Dayquil. I even took a muscle relaxer at some point.
There you go.
I was trying everything.
How do you have muscle relaxer? I was just curious.
You gave them to me.
You still have those things, Jamie? They probably don't even work anymore.
Well, you're right. They don't.
God,
so
I think
anyway,
I gave those to you like 10 years ago.
Like 3 or 4. I don't take pills. I'm like, oh, what's this? I'll try this. I was desperate.
You know me. You give me a pill, they're gone by the afternoon.
Please, are you kidding? If I give you Vicodin, you're like, oh, well, I guess these will do. I mean, they're only the 25s, but on the street, they're worth about $20 a pill. La la la. And I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ.
We're gonna get to that.
So I felt like garbage all weekend, and I hate being sick on the weekends. You miss all the fun stuff. There's nothing good to do when you feel like shit. So I did watch The Crown, which is the new season came out of The Crown, which I absolutely love on Netflix.
Yeah, I saw your line about it, and all I saw was something about 15 seconds, and it was wonderful. I'm like, there is nothing wonderful about 15 seconds.
It's brilliant acting. I love Olivia Colman. She's so good as Queen Elizabeth. I actually really like this season. A lot of people are struggling because she's not pretty like Claire Foy was. But this is a woman who's now in her 40s, and everyone knows that Queen Elizabeth isn't, a raving model.
Beauty queen, yeah.
She's a queen, but she's not a beauty queen in the sense of what we consider beautiful on magazines or something.
She's not a Disney character.
No, but she's an amazing woman. And so it's really interesting to watch. Although this season, we're really getting into how she's a parent to Prince Charles, and she's such a bitch. And I'm just like, I've never liked Prince Charles as much as I do now because I really feel it, because she's so cold to him. And it's just really interesting. So the show's really good. So I did get to do that.
Well, maybe that's why he didn't like Princess Diana, because she is kind of cold.
Well, the next episode, because there's 10 episodes and I've gone through 7. The next one is all about how he meets Camilla and how the family stops the romance and pushes Diana on him. So it'll be really interesting. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So I'll be curious to see. And, honestly, he got his way. I mean, he's married to Camilla, and they've been happily married for years.
Yeah. Well, they never not stopped seeing each other. And
I know. I mean, there might have been a brief period of time, but I mean, no one will ever really know.
Well, and obviously it was about true love, because I mean, there's no comparison between the two women. I mean, Diana was significantly younger and far more beautiful than she was. Yes,
it's true. But he loved her.
But that's what I'm saying, is he absolutely loved her, and he could never not keep having her in his life. Diana knew about her. And I don't think he ever cheated on her with anybody else. I think it was always just Camilla, wasn't it?
No, I agree. Yes, that's my understanding of it. So anyway, it's a really good show for me. I really like it. I just think it's amazing. But I'm kind of obsessed with the royal family and the history of England and the regality of it all. Really cool shit. I like it. Okay, so anyway, I've been ill, but I did get to catch up on The Crown, which was interesting and fun, and the Raiders one, of course. So this is episode 420, and although we are not stoners at all, in fact, and I'm sure we'll relay some of our pathetic attempts at trying to get high, it is 420, and that is, I don't even know where 420 comes from. Somebody told me it was the police code for pot possession, but I guess that's not true.
I thought it was April 20th, or do people just celebrate it because it's April 20th?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, see, we're already off to a great start.
The only thing I will say is this. I do wish that marijuana
What are we going to talk about next? Soul food?
What?
I'm just saying, like, subjects that we know nothing about.
Well, we've already talked about the royal family.
Yeah, that's
and
one.
Our lack of pot smoking. So sure,
let's get on that.
Let's talk about that. Okay, but the one thing I do like about this new it's like a renaissance, a weed renaissance, is that I wish that it was legal on the federal level personally, because it would just open up everything. And I think there's a lot of money to be made. That part of it, I wish, was a little bit easier to work with, because I've always thought that weed is a great product, not just for recreation, but for all of the medicinal uses. For example, I use CBD oil, and I did so much research on it, because the problem with it not being funded or regulated federally is that anybody can make it and make it look legit, and it could be garbage. And so you have to do your research. I mean, there's really good dispensaries now, but before there wasn't. And so, you could be buying shit from some dude down the street. You don't even know. So that's the only part that I wish was a little more, that if it was legal, that would make it so much better for everybody. Because then you could get some great product. I use CBD for insomnia. Completely works. Like, legitimately works. And I buy it from this company in Colorado because it's the one that I finally did enough research on. In fact, I was talking to Mom about CBD oil, and I said, would you ever do it? And because look, mom's in a new place mentally. I don't know. She's so open.
What is she on, shrooms or something?
I don't know, man, but she's like super open-minded right now, so
She's
been
a changed
pleasure.
woman. Maybe that tumor was pressing on like a very rigid nerve, and now she's just
It is
like,
possible, man.
who knows what she's going to do next?
This is who she was always supposed to be.
Maybe
I don't
she's
know.
going to stop wearing a bra and,
So we were talking about it, and I said, I have read, especially, and I was doing a lot of research, I said, especially with the incision site in your muscles and stuff, that topical CBD is actually, they say it's better than even the Novocaine shots that they give you to kind of numb everything. And she was open to it.
Well, I mean, you can order it online, and there actually is pretty reputable companies here in California, especially since California was like one of the first states to legalize it.
I'm just really pleased because it is, the reason that it's illegal has nothing to do with the danger. It was a monopoly paper thing back in the ancient times of America, where a guy, was making a shit ton of money because hemp is a superior product to paper from trees. And so they made it illegal. Plus, they said it made Mexicans crazy. And it was just all this bullshit. And so
Mexicans are always crazy. They don't need
I know,
pot
but
to
it made them
crazy.
even crazier or something. And it was just a bunch of garbage.
Okay. I've never seen someone go crazy getting high on pot, but
Because they don't. Reefer madness is not real. It's dumb. They get tired and they just want to eat Cheetos and chill. It's not. I hate it.
they don't even want to. They just want to Netflix. They don't even want to chill after that.
I'm happy to see. What would be great is the continuance of acceptance of marijuana in the community without it being some dirty thing that dumb kids do or no useless adults do. It's not actually like that. So I'm liking the new changes with that. I'm really loving the CBD oil. Now, I've had my experiences with pot and they've never been ideal. One time they're, especially in your 20s, someone's always trying to get you high, in your 20s. I don't know what it is. We all have the friend who's like, hey, you want to get high? So I did it a couple of times. Nothing ever came of it. I've said this before. I turn into an indifferent cat. Nothing happens. I just sit there with judgment and I don't move and my eyes are kind of narrowed and I'm just like, what is the point of any of this? This is such a dumb waste of my time. That's how I am. I don't laugh. I don't get tired. I don't get hungry. I just sit there in judgment and haughty derision.
You have not. Well, you obviously don't have a good reaction. I also do not have a good reaction to pot, although mine is different. Usually when the few times that I have gotten high, I usually end up curled up in the fetal position in a chair somewhere, rocking back and forth, wanting to know how much longer this is going to go on and being terrified that my mom's going to walk in and catch me. I get horribly paranoid.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't really, and it's one of those things too where you tell somebody that you had that reaction and someone who thinks they know more than you goes, oh, you know what? You just need to try it with me. I don't know if that's ever happened.
No. I've always had like, oh, you just had bad weed. I'm like, no, It was not bad weed. The person who brought it, they were fucking 40 years old. They know what they're doing, you know. But then I remember one time, this was a really long time before vaping became a thing.
Right.
He had like this little vape machine. It was like a mini hookah thing.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like all these little like pipes, not pipes, but these little cords or pipes, I guess you can call, with like mouthpieces coming off of it. And
yes. It's a hookah.
It used steam. And so he put like the little bud inside and then waited for it to steam through. And then you suck the steam so that way you didn't do the smoke.
Okay.
Our sister Stephanie was there. And so she's just like, very impatient, I guess, when it comes to wanting to get high. And so he says, you have to wait for the steam. And like 5 minutes went by and she's like, when's this thing going to happen? She's like, why don't we just take it out and light up a doobie?
She's so funny.
She was funny.
What's the point?
Yeah, she was kind of like, this is stupid.
Yes. Well, there's nothing refined about. You know what? The whole thing, and I've heard that too. It's like, oh, it's the strain. Oh no, it's the company and it's the mental frame you were in at the time. I'm like, okay,
it's the pot.
Far too many parameters for this. Why can't I just have a cocktail and be done with it, please?
See, and that's the worst part is if I have been drinking and someone suggests it, if I even smell it, Jamie, it's instant puking. instant
Really?
Yes. There's just something about that particular smell. Our neighbors next door smoke pot, and like if I'm going to take something out to the trash, I smell it at first. And I mean, God, I'm old. But I mean, how many times do I have to say, oh my God, I think there's a skunk out here before I finally realize I'm like, oh no, people are smoking pot, Paula. I'm like, I'm so naive. I'm so stupid sometimes. Or I remember one time in our apartment, I went outside and I'm like, God, there were some neighbors outside. I'm like, God, I'm all, do you guys smell that? I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, did a skunk come around here? Did somebody hit it? What is it?
No. They're like,
Later to find out they were outside smoking pot.
They were getting high. They're like, don't ever tell her, you guys.
Yeah.
You probably made them paranoid.
No, I probably just looked like a dumbass going out there like, what is that skunk smell?
Let me tell you how embarrassing this is. Remember when I first moved into this house and Bodega killed 10 skunks in a summer? Mm-hmm. Okay, the skunk smell like entrenches in everything. It was in my car. It was in my clothes. I couldn't get it out. And I was telling my hairdresser at the time, finally, I wasn't very open. I didn't communicate much because I'm not much of a sharer, you know, but I started to relax there. So I told him about the skunk killings. And he goes, you know, I'm really glad you told me that. And I'm like, why? He goes, because you come in and I think that you just smoke pot all the time.
Oh my God, you smelled like skunk.
And I was like, please scrub my skull. I mean, whatever.
Oh my God.
It was horrifying. I'm like, ugh, no, I don't.
Who wants to know they smell?
Well, my hair, because he was killing them all the time. I mean, I probably came in, he had killed one the night before. It's not like I was walking around daily smelling like skunk, but at the time, you know, my car smelled like skunk all the time, and I hated it so much because there was just nothing you could do.
I just realized, I think I take after Mom in this regard. I have a really bad habit. Every time I walk into like a new place, like whether it's a store or get out of my car or something like that, I automatically say like, what's that smell? You know, because I automatically, there's just some odor somewhere and I'm always looking around and I just have this horrific look on my face.
So I have to tell you this story. The day Mom came home from the hospital to her home. She'd been home for about an hour.
Paul had never cracked a window, I'm guessing, the whole time she was gone.
No. So I walk in the door. Her friend Sylvia is sitting on the couch. Mom's sitting in her chair, just chilling, super happy to be home. I walk in the door and I'm like, oh my gosh, she looks so great. Everything's wonderful, blah, blah, blah. So Paul leaves and I go, okay, real talk. And she's like, what? And I said, your house reeks of mildew. And she's like, I knew it. And Sylvia is sitting there. She's like, I smell nothing. And Mom's like, I knew I smelled it. Literally every time I talk to her, she's like, so the person's coming. They're going up into the attic. There was absolutely a leak in there. They found it. They have to replace all of the insulation. And it's going to be like $3,000. But we smelled it. We smelled it and no one else did. And then when I came over the second time, every window was open. Every door was open. I go, well, it doesn't smell like mildew. She goes, well, Jamie, I'm home. Everything's open.
Yeah, really? I thought she was going to say it smells like Paul's truck. And the thing is he still won't crack a window. He'll just turn on the air conditioning. I'm like, open the goddamn windows. Yeah, I don't get it, man. I have to have air all the time. Like last night. Sit in your own sit.
Are you kidding? I can't even, like, when I take a shower, I have to open. I can't have humidity. I just need clean, fresh air.
The first thing I do when I get in my car is crack all the windows. Like, I just have to have something flow through.
Okay, here's something that really irritates me.
Even if it's 100 degrees outside, I'm like, oh, it's hot in here. And I'll roll down the windows. It's probably hotter outside, but I still need to get a gust of something.
I need air. I need breeze.
What's wrong with us?
I don't know, Paula. In fact, you want to know what's really wrong with us? I'll be in the car with Daryl. I'll be in the truck or whatever. And if I crack my window open, Daryl opens all the windows because he thinks I need air. And I'm like,
then all of a sudden your hair's in a tornado and you're like, I didn't want all those open.
Sounds like a jet motor. And I was like, what? It's like an inch. It's an inch. And he's like, what? I just don't, it creates a weird sound thing. And I'm like, okay. So I roll up my window, then he rolls everything back up. I'm just like, what the fuck? Why can't I live my life? Why can't I just live my fucking life?
Your hair's so stringy and you've got like hair stuck to your lips and your lipstick.
And my freaking cold sore.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding.
And your Neosporin and your hair's all Oh God, I hate that. Yeah, I know. Why are guys always trying to pay attention to what you're doing? I'm just like, focus on your own shit. You're driving. I can handle my vents in my window. Don't be concerned about my comfortableness. I've operated a vehicle before.
It's just like when Diaz, everybody's like, well, they should have stopped the fight, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, wow, it's so nice to see that everyone's concerned with his health.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's
that
like
whole
suddenly
post.
Suddenly I get in your car and all of a sudden, do you want the seat warmer? Are the vents too high?
It's like, what are you,
what
an
about the
Uber
windows?
driver? Where's the vents?
It's like, what the hell? God, just let me exist.
If you really want me to have a comfortable ride, install a mini refrigerator, keep little bottles of champagne or water, maybe have some, little Dove chocolates like in the console. Don't let them get melted or like get that white dust on it or anything like that.
I will say, though, that I believe this is our fault because we are inherently princesses and we are difficult. And so if we're in any kind of discomfort, we're going to let them know.
But that's just the thing is they always go wrong when they try and predetermine the next move. I'm just like, don't do that.
Just wait for me to tell you.
You don't know. You just don't know. You never will.
It's true.
Even if you thought that's what I was going to do and I thought that's what I was going to do, the fact that you wanted to do it, I'm going to change my mind.
It's true, too. Completely. I walk in sometimes and all the vents will be roaring. And I'm like, why are these vents on so high? And then he gets panicked. He's like, because it's just what it does. It's climate control. I'm like, this is climate control? Well, this is out of hand. This is uncomfortable. And he's just like, oh, my God. And so it's like, you will never win. Just live your life. Let me do my thing. And we will all be at peace. I promise.
I got so mad at Ryan last summer because I like to put the air conditioning on like full blast because it's hot, and Olivia was hot in the back seat. And I'm just like, I'm putting the air back there as much as I can. So I went to go fill Ryan's vents. His vents were shut. And I'm like, why are your vents shut? He's like, I was cold. I'm like, then say something. I'm like, but don't let your sister die back there of heat stroke because you can't turn your vents away.
Wasting away back there turned into a little shriveled up raisin.
You know what? I do feel bad. If I had someone yelling at me like that all the time. Well, we did. We had Mom. I mean, that's just how we existed.
It is true. We did.
We just don't understand people who don't have common sense. It's upsetting.
Okay, here's something that I have learned. No one thinks like we do for some reason.
Shocking.
And when I do come across those who think like me, I cling to them. I never let them go. Hairdressers, both of them, both think like me. They say shit that I'm thinking and I'm like, never leave me, ever. Like we must know each other for our whole lives because I can't relate to people who don't think like I do. And the worst part is when you think you've met someone and they totally get you and then they say something, you're like, oh, there was such promise. Oh, well, bye.
Like, for example, yesterday, there was this article of this man who took his girlfriend to the desert. Now, the woman was 4'11" and 75 pounds. Did you read this article?
I saw her picture and I thought,
okay. Well, when I saw the picture and I asked my friend, I'm like, who's the guy on the right? And he's like, that's his girlfriend. And I'm like, oh my God. And so she looked like a garden gnome.
Paula, if I look like that and that man, and I saw the picture of him, if he suggested we go to the desert, I would say no.
Well, something isn't adding up. So anyways, he bound her feet and hands with zip ties, put duct tape on her mouth and nose, and she suffocated to death. And they found her body later in the desert. Yeah. And because we only think the way we do, my first question to myself was, how the hell did she get a boyfriend and I don't? That's what I commented. That's what I commented in this section. And of course, naturally, people are just like, are you kidding me? That's sick. That's all you can think about. She was murdered. And I'm just like, you're missing the point.
No one has a sense of humor anymore. You're not allowed to say anything that's, even remotely, salacious, which is why we have our podcast, because you can't comment. That's why you get suspended on Facebook. Speaking of, I did not respond to your comment when John Legend was announced as the sexiest man alive for People magazine this year because I wanted to talk about it on the show.
Okay.
I agree. I don't find him sexy personally. It doesn't mean that people wouldn't find him sexy, but I struggle with this whole thing anyway, and I was trying to think, has there ever been a sexiest man alive for People that I actually agreed with? And so I went and I got the list. They've been doing the list since 1985, And I was looking to see if have I ever actually liked any of the guys they've named as Sexiest Man Alive. And I can tell you, not really. So the very, very first Sexiest Man Alive was in February of 1985, and it was Mel Gibson. Next was Mark Harmon.
Oh, he's cute.
He was 34, and he was the star of Saint Elsewhere in 1986.
You know what? He was pretty cute when he was young. When he was in that movie Summer School, like I love that movie. I was crushing Hard Time in that movie. I
freaking love Summer School. It's one of my most favorite movies.
Especially at the end when the dog finds his little doll head, and then Kirstie Alley wants his chapstick, and he tries to hand it to her, and she's like, "That's not what I meant." And then they like totally start making out on like the waves.
Yeah, that was a great movie.
It's pretty hot.
Absolutely loved it. Yes. Then in 1987, it was Harry Hamlin. I've never liked Harry Hamlin.
Isn't he like the guy that looks like a French fry?
I don't know if he looks like a French fry. He was LA Law, and then he was also in the Clash of the Titans.
I think he looks like a sweet potato now.
He has a really nice chin and thick lips. He's married to Lisa Rinna.
Oh, I'm thinking of someone else.
You are. And then next is JFK Jr., John F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, he had really pronounced nice features. I would agree to that.
Handsome. But I mean, I don't remember going, but I was 17 at the time. So I'm like, oh my God, I didn't really think anything of it. Mm-hmm. And then it was Sean Connery.
That guy's always sexy. I don't care. He's old as fuck and he's still sexy.
He was 59 when he was named Sexiest Man Alive.
Oh my God. So he must be like 99 now. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, this was back in 89. So that was 30 years ago. He's 89 right now. God, he's so old. Tom Cruise was the next one.
I don't care what he does in Scientology or what horrible movies he makes. If I see him, I'm still going to think he's cute. I don't know why.
He is a handsome person, but I don't
want to hear his own thoughts. I just want to hear him stay in movies because he's a really good actor.
That's why I think the best time in Hollywood was back in like the 50s, the 40s and 50s, when there wasn't any social media, where we didn't know anything about their private lives, and all we saw was what they did on camera.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's perfect. That's the whole myth of Hollywood. And now we have to hear their opinions.
Yeah.
Oh, that pretty face talks. Okay, great. Following that, it was Patrick Swayze.
I love Patrick Swayze,
yes,
but I did not find him attractive.
Me either. And then after that, it was Nick Nolte. Ugh.
He's not the guy that looks like a Clydesdale, is he? No, that's not Gary Sinise. What's that guy's name?
The crazy one.
What is that guy's name? You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do.
It was actually at a comedy roast. They said, shoot, who the hell is that guy? It's Gary something, isn't it?
Yes, I know, and I can't think of it either. Crazy person. He's nuts.
He is nuts. They're legit. They're like
Gary. He played.
Shit.
He played Bobby. What?
Billy Bobby.
God damn it.
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. Jesus fucking Christ. Gary Busey.
No, at one of those Comedy Centrals, they did a roast and he was on there and they're like, Gary Busey looks like Nick Nolte fucked a Clydesdale.
Yes. Yes, he does. Gary Busey was in Silver Bullet, which I love. That's Stephen King movie.
I do remember that. In fact, when I just showed it to Ryan, I'm like, oh my God, Gary Busey was in this. And in fact, Ryan's just like, is that guy? I'm like, it is.
Gary Busey's actually a pretty good actor. Regardless of that, Nick Nolte was next, and then Richard Gere after that.
Well, Richard Gere and Cindy Crawford, sexiest couple alive.
What?
I know, stupid, right?
Stupid. Oh my God, what were they trying to just? Okay, whatever.
Who
and
knows?
Then it was Brad Pitt, Denzel, George Clooney, Harrison Ford, Richard Gere again by himself.
Okay.
Brad Pitt again.
Well, I don't disagree with that. I mean, Brad Pitt's pretty fucking sexy.
Richard Gere twice, really? I mean,
he was a big deal in the 80s. I mean, remember
he did Pretty
all those
Woman.
No, before that, he did like
American Gigolo
thing, and there was what else was there? Was that it?
Nothing. That's what.
There were other things. I can't remember.
Pierce Brosnan, I don't like. I mean, he's handsome, but I don't find him like the sexiest man alive.
He's too thin for me.
He is a thin person. Ben Affleck, gag.
God, who the fuck picked that one?
I don't know. Johnny Depp, Jude Law. Okay, I think Jude Law is really handsome. He's a little just too petite. He's a petite man. So I'm not
I never
sure.
got the big like gaga about Jude Law. I never
you
found
either
it.
like Englishmen or you don't. I think that's kind of the thing. Like a lot of
Maybe.
people who like Hugh Grant.
I really liked Hugh Grant, actually.
I did too, actually. I liked him because he was so disgustingly naughty.
I just think
he was such a naughty boy.
He's so disgusting.
He really is. Matthew McConaughey, who I would never ever sleep with in a million years because he's always sweaty and shirtless and stoned. I'm just not a fan.
Back then, when he was doing the Southern boy thing with like the white T-shirt, kind of sweaty underneath because it was like humid, totally like all over it on some kind of legal table somewhere. But
I remember that
now,
movie.
nah.
And then George Clooney again. And then
Okay,
Matt
let me just
Damon.
say this about George Clooney. Sorry, quickly.
Yes.
I've never, ever, ever, ever in my life found George Clooney attractive.
One movie, and it was the movie with Jennifer Lopez, and it was she was a cop and he was a bad
Yeah, I
guy.
know. I know what you're talking about.
Broken Arrow or
No, it
something
was like
that,
or
Point.
Let It Go or Set It Off or.
We are so bad at all of this.
I just thought
We're just
he had
terrible.
I thought his hair was like shaped like ice cream bowls or an ice cream. Like
He
the way
did that Caesar. Oh, here's a fun fact. So he did a Caesar haircut.
Yeah.
For a minute, right? Okay, so it was really popular like in the early 90s. So Daryl and I were not seeing each other at the time, but we both worked at the same radio station together, and he had a stylist that he used to go to. And I don't know, I think everybody develops some kind of crush or some kind of affinity for their hairstylist at some point. His hairstylist was female. Convinced him to do the Caesar cut. So he went and he had the Caesar haircut done and came back to work, and he walked in after his haircut, and we were all having a meeting in a manager's office, and he came in to say that he was back from lunch, and there was like 6 of us in the office, and he stuck his Caesar head in and he's like, okay, I'm back, da da da, and he walked away, and we all looked at each other, and he's like, what the fuck did Daryl do to his hair? I'm like, I don't know.
Daryl did it.
Yes. And we're like, I don't know. And so, I mean, we weren't really friends or anything yet. Like, we just worked in the same office together. And I said,
You're like, God, that poor guy. What did he do?
I'm like, and I, of course, because I'm like, well, George Clooney's doing it right now, but I don't think he can pull that off like George Clooney can. George Clooney can barely pull it off. So anyway, after that, it was Matt Damon and then Hugh Jackman. Yeah, I don't like Hugh Jackman that much, but, you know, he's not ugly or anything. Johnny Depp was next.
Again?
Yes. And then finally, someone who I think is cute and funny, Ryan Reynolds.
No thanks.
I know you don't like him.
He's too squeaky clean.
Whatever. Guys who are funny to me are sexy.
No, I mean, yeah, funny guys are cute and everything like that, but he doesn't look like he'd ever stick his finger up my butthole.
Oh, I think he absolutely would.
Yeah, he'd probably
absolutely.
giggle, and I'm just like, get the fuck
He talked
off.
to you. I'd be like, do the Deadpool voice and put your pinky at my ass.
No.
First of all, I don't want anyone's pinky at my ass.
No, that's the thing. Is guys like that, you don't want to ask. You just want them to do it.
Do it. Finally, in 2011, Bradley Cooper got Sexiest Man Alive. And then Channing Tatum.
I think he's got a weird face. Like it's all scrunched in the middle and his head is massive.
I'm not sure what's going on with his face, but I mean, it's because of his body. It wasn't necessarily
Well,
because
his
of
body
face.
is pretty large.
He has a great body. And then your very favorite, Adam Levine.
Fucking hate that guy.
And then Chris Hemsworth, who plays Thor.
Never was
given.
into the Hemsworths. None of them.
I think he's a cutie pie, but I whatever. So anyway, and then it was David Beckham, who I think is cute, but I don't know, man. I don't think I'm into the Englishman thing.
Oh God, I'd let him fuck me.
Your husband would let you fuck him. I mean, he's so hot.
Yeah, right.
And then The Rock, finally, The Rock gets the sexiest man. I don't look at him as a sexy guy, but I mean, he's gorgeous.
He's like unisex to me. I don't know. He's like his own species. I just
nobody even knows what he is.
I know.
He's just this guy.
He's like a potato.
Right. And then Blake Shelton.
That makes me want to throw up.
It's dumb. And then Idris Elba finally last year got it. And that dude is so fucking sexy. Now, he's a Brit that I think is hot, actually.
Yeah.
Very good looking. If you're into chocolate, of course.
No, I am, but I mean, I I think there's sexier chocolates than him.
Well, Denzel once.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is there's so many, and there's like none on this list. I mean, with the exception of the last two, him, and then unfortunately,
and then John Legend,
John Legend. So
you don't think he's sexy?
No, I think he's like
not.
He's so
not for me.
He's too metro for me. That's the problem.
He is very metrosexual. I agree.
And he's got a very petite body. And I'm just, you know how I am. I like a man's man. And
you know what's interesting too is like his wife, Chrissy Teigen. She is super curvy, but she's not a big girl. She's a curvy girl.
Yeah,
but gorgeous. To me, I think
she was a model. Yeah.
Yes, she's gorgeous,
and she's just madly in love with him. So
he's madly in love with her too.
They both are. I know. It's strange.
They're a great couple.
Of course, my biggest complaint, and I can't even believe that there's repeat offenders on here, and
I know
fucking Leonardo DiCaprio is not on this list, is appalling. It's absolutely appalling. Who hates him? Who?
I don't know.
Who did he fuck over at some point in his life?
Somewhere along the line, he pissed off the wrong people in Hollywood because he had to practically die to get a fucking Oscar nomination.
Either he's a Republican or
possible.
No, it's not. No, have you seen the things he sends out about climate? I mean, the guy's practically Jesus Christ.
He wants to save everything and everyone. Yes.
He can't get an award or an acknowledgement or anything to save his life. Like,
it's true.
That has got to be so frustrating.
He is super handsome and there is no reason why this boy should not be on the cover of People magazine as the sexiest man alive. He's been in so many films at the time where they could promote to put him on the cover and they haven't. Number one. Number two, where's John Hamm? Okay. John Hamm in his heyday when he did Mad Men, he was considered so sexy. Where was he? And he's funny too. I know you don't like him, but I think he's really good looking.
Mm-hmm. I don't see Sylvester Stallone on here anywhere. And I thought he was super handsome.
No.
He's Rocky.
No. Oh, no.
Okay. The Wahlbergs. Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, I could see that being a possibility. Where's Jason Momoa? For God's sake, where's Aquaman? He's so good looking. He's so hot.
I would not doubt if it was next year.
He should have gotten it when he was on Game of Thrones.
What about Michael B. Jordan?
He's so cute.
He is a sexy bitch. He's, you know what I said? What did I say the other day?
You just growled a little. That was hilarious.
Because he's on my top 5, and I said that to her the other day. I'm like, well, you know, Michael B. Jordan's on my top 5. He's like, Mom, he's like, you don't even have a top 5 anymore. He's all, you're single.
It's just Michael B. Jordan.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I guess it's just Michael B. Jordan.
It can be whoever you want. Yeah. I'm okay with that as well. Okay, we're running out of time, so I need to do our H-Ugly and Awkward Moments of the week. And because we were talking about weed, I'm doing a weed edition.
Okay,
so I have 2. I got really high for the first time with this girl I was hanging out with. We were sitting on her couch and I was fucking blazed when suddenly I realized that I was squeezing her thigh with nearly all of my might and snot was dripping down my face. And she was staring at me. Can you imagine?
I hope if my son smokes pot, he does that exact same thing. Because he'll never do it again.
I just like, what? Like, if a guy was doing that and I turned and he looked at me and he had snot dripping off of his face too, I'd be like, wow, this is over.
Why was he squeezing her thigh so hard?
Because he was just so high.
I know, but wouldn't you be like,
life.
Would you be mellow, I guess? I don't know.
Some people aren't.
You don't think you'd be white knuckling it on someone's thigh?
For real.
She probably had a bruise.
I'm sure.
And then he looks over, he's all,
I know, and her mom's gonna be like, "What? Where's that? Why do you have that bruise on your thigh?" Oh, how do you explain? And you know, your mom always catches it. Your mom always sees the weird bruise on your thigh.
Even if she's never seen that part of your body, suddenly she will see that part of your body.
You're sitting on the couch weird, and she's like,
for fuck's sake, it happens every single time. And you're just like, what?
Okay, here's the second one. First time I tried weed, I didn't know about certain side effects such as dry mouth.
I didn't know you had a dry mouth.
Oh, yeah.
Like I would know. My mouth's always dry, Jamie. Come on.
I know. You're like,
I practically
sometimes
walk around with a bottle of water in my mouth. I need like one of those things that hamsters have in their cage, just something like attached to my face that I can like turn to the side and like lick a little ball that spits out water. What?
I don't know, just the visual made me
Maybe
laugh.
like a hat that like has it dangling down. You know, I'm like,
They have those, you know.
I'm like, sorry, I just needed a little something.
Anyway, okay, first time I tried it, I didn't know about certain side effects such as dry mouth. A friend and I blew through $20 worth of weed and were trashed. Anyway, my friend decided to take out a packet of chips, which I tore into without taking a breath. About a minute in, I realized that I wasn't able to swallow any more chips as my mouth was completely dry and I began to choke. My friend looked at me with a confused gaze as I tried to regurgitate the chips back out of my throat like a cat trying to cough up a fur ball. I thought I was going to die, but eventually I got it done. And from then on, I only smoked with a drink.
Ooh.
Hey, can you imagine seeing a friend going,
No,
you know, trying to cough up chips?
The different times that I've seen people high, they all took off their socks and they were walking around because the carpet felt weird. So they were all like,
No.
They had their legs spread and they were kind of like bouncing around like little like praying mantises or something. And I was just sitting on the chair, like just glaring at all of them, like, fuck you assholes. I'm like literally about to get caught any minute now, and you're just bouncing around talking about how weird the carpet feels on your feet, you idiots.
Ew. See,
And then someone's like, hey, let's order a pizza. And I'm like, fuck you.
No. Weed isn't for me. That's all I know. It's not for me. With that being said, those were the H-Ugly and Awkward Moments of the week. And I don't have anything else. I mean, we could continue talking about this, but I don't really have anything else.
Anyways, okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Thanksgiving is coming up. And after that, on Monday, it will be Cyber Monday. So,
Oh, we have Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and then Cyber Monday, all on the same weekend.
Small Business Saturday, huh?
Yes, Small Business Saturday. And by the way, we are a small business, so fucking shop our lipandclip.com, people.
I didn't know we were small. I was just thinking, oh my God, do people even have those anymore? Or did all the big box stores just, kick them
There's
to
a
the
lot of small
curb?
businesses out there. Absolutely.
Well, good for us. So make sure you're a Prime member. Click on uglytruth.com, go to the shopping section, click on the Amazon button. And then also, as Jamie mentioned, go to lipandclip.com, check out some of the deals. I think they might even talk about some of the cyber deals they'll have coming up. So you can get prepared. And other than that, we will see you on Sunday.
Yes.
And then we will have more to share then, friends. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Thanks for listening and sharing the show. See you next time on The Ugly Truth.